Alexis Nunes alongside Janusz Michallik focusing on the US men's national team, but the Olympic roster, Janusz, as Olympic qualifying is upon us because it is an Olympic year. Finally, thanks to the pandemic, we get to have it this summer. What do you make of this current roster and this current group of players?
Oh my goodness, where do we start with this, Alexis? I mean, at first, when I was thinking before the pandemic, I was thinking to myself, what a team this is going to be. I mean, this is going to be a team that could challenge for the Olympic medals for sure. Maybe, some will say gold. I don't know, that's difficult, but I think, but once you get past the likes of, Christian Pulisic, Weston McKennie, Gio Reyna not being available, and Tyler Adams, then you say to yourself, well, it's still okay, but then there are other problems because this is not a FIFA window, so a lot of players have not been released from Europe. Brendan Aronson is one of them. I don't want to rattle everyone off on this, but it's a team that is very, very young. I think that's a team that's already been getting some looks and some chances, of course, under even Greg Berhalter, because remember, Jason Kreis and Greg Berhalter have been working together with this team. The recent games against TNT and El Salvador, that was kind of mix of the available senior players with the young players, and they've got their debuts, of course, and so I think it's been great, and it's a young team that in the future, I think this is going to pay off, regardless of what happens in the qualifying. Although that's important because let's not forget that U.S. has missed Olympics in the last two cycles, so it's really something that's important to U.S. soccer that they do make it there, and it's not going to be easy with the first game being against Costa Rica and the third game in the group being against Mexico.
Well, like you said, this is a very youthful team, and that's something that we do like to see because as we have been seeing in club football, that there are some big names that are still so young, I have to wrap my head around. But who are your key performers or ones to watch?
Well, there's Jesus Ferreira comes in to mind right away. I mean, against Trinidad and Tobago, had a couple goals, I believe 3 assists. He's still very, very young, but he's proven on the senior team, even though it was a Trinidad and Tobago team that really was out of season, wasn't ready to play. El Salvador weren't great, but in that last game, I think he's proven that he can play. I like Sebastian Soto. I like his calmness. I like his composure. Doesn't play, of course, a lot, in Europe right now at Norwich City, but I think he's the sort of player that I can get my head around and I can see him being a good finisher for this particular team. Of course, Djordje Mihailovic is going to be very, very important because he is a senior figure, if you will, on that team, that creative force with a very, very good vision. Without Paxton Pomykal, who would have been probably playing in that position or at least competing with him for that, I think he's going to be important. So Sam Vines, left back. I'm a left back, so I always go in there. I think, again, a player that's play for the senior team, and I think he's steady Eddie on that side, which has always been an issue for the U.S. teams in general. I don't want to forget anybody, but Jackson Yueill, another one that's had a number of games with the senior team. He's going to be, the anchor of that midfield, one that distributes, one that breaks down plays as well. He can win a ball. Again, another player with good vision. So there are a number of players, but defensively, I think, there is a bit of an issue because of Mark McKenzie not being available and Eric Palmer Brown, who was with this team. Those are the players that are in Europe. They're not being released. Goalkeeping situations not as clear as in the past. U.S., of course, very well known for top goalkeepers. Right now, you look at players like J.T. Marcinkowski. He's probably going to be the one that's going to get the nod, but there isn't a name that kind of wows you right away because that's one position that anyone around the world would say, well, yeah, there's been some successful goalkeepers for them. So I like the fact that they're young, Alexis. I like the fact that they're going to get incredible experience, even in the qualifying right now, because I've mentioned 2 quality opponents. Let's not forget that this summer U.S. is playing in a lot of competitions, right? Because, you have, this year anyway, World Cup qualifying, you have the Gold Cup, you have CONCACAF Nations League. So I think you're going to need numbers. And all of a sudden, you look at a U.S. team or teams, that you're not looking like, where are we going to get these guys, right? I mean, we don't have to go to a phone book to pick out somebody to get that. There's so much quality around Europe and, of course, United States as well.
Well, thank you very much for watching ESPN on YouTube. For more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for live streaming, premium content, and let's not forget as well, ESPN FC 7 days a week. Subscribe to ESPN Plus.